Hello out there and welcome to English Plays. We're here with the Skylia Prophecy, I don't know. Anyways, it's a new game, it's on Steam, and full disclosure, I did receive my copy for free. Now, it made a lot of noise about using a controller, but I've got my controller hooked up. It's connected to Steam. Steam was like using Xbox configuration controls, and it does nothing. Controller does nothing, so we're gonna use the keyboard. Now, I've also gone into the game settings to try and make it look a little bit less pixely, but I guess this is what it's supposed to look like, but it's really awful to look at. I'm not a fan. So I'm hoping the game looks nicer. Yeah, so like Kingdom New Lands, Kingdom, that game has the deliberate pixel effect, but the problem with this is that it just looks blurry. The Kingdom one looks like a deliberate pixel effect. It's just, that's a thing. This just looks like it just looks like I can't quite see what they've actually drawn, which is not as fun. But we're gonna play using the keyboard, I guess, because the controller doesn't work. And I don't. Wow, this is okay. We've got some exposition. The 9-year war concluded when the Dark Lord fell and his power was broken, ending the old world and giving birth to a new one. Oh my god. Built on hope and unified lands, but the Dark Lord was not killed, for the elders feared that, should he ever perish, the demons would rampage uncontrollably until a new leader, even more powerful than the old, would emerge. So it was decided to seal him away instead, until a young girl named Myrenia ignored all warnings and slew the Lord of Darkness in hopes to avert an ancient prophecy foretold in the Book of Shadows. But the elders were right, and the demons became restless in their pursuit of a new leader. Oh my god, this is so much exposition. They ransacked towns and villages, killed the men, and raped the women, until finally a group of heroes led by Artia, legendary warrior of the 9-year war, and Myrenia's foster aunt stood against them. Foster aunt? Meanwhile, Myrenia, filled with fear and regret, decided to take matters into her own hands. While the new heroes around Arteria fought the demons, she sought to end this plight with dark magic, the Book of Shadows, the same book that spoke of the prophecy that made her kill the Dark Lord in the first place. Despite Artia forbidding to read it, Myrenia learned about a spell that would draw all dark power to a single spot where it could be trapped, shackled, whatever. Seeing this spell as her last hope for redemption, Myrenia began a 3-year-long journey to Turkin Fortress, the place where the dark powers were the strongest, fearing that Myrenia would not avert the prophecy, but rather fulfill it. Thus, Myrenia arrives in a town not far from Turkin Fortress, a town that just got saved from monsters by newly arrived Artia, with only a few survivors remaining. Great. Right. So the controller is still not functional. I don't. Is there a way to reconfigure the controls, because this is just bad. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'm trying to see what the buttons do. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. So yeah, so my controller's definitely hooked up. I'm gonna try this one more time. I'm gonna try and re-hook up the controller and see if I can force the game to recognize that it's hooked up. Come on. Connect. I'm ready. Yep, you can see it there. It's connected. Xbox One controller connected using configs from Mr. Jacobs. We are connected. And it's doing nothing. Nothing. I can't. It does nada. Right. Alright, well, I guess we'll walk around. Or we won't walk around. I don't understand what we're meant to be doing here. Right, I don't... Okay. What did we... How did we... I don't know how we activated that. I don't know what button I pressed. I'm just pressing button. Okay, so now there's enemies. So we don't know how to fight them. Is that it? You have to stop. We have to kill the monsters. Right. I still don't know what I pressed. Backspace. Is there another way to attack them, or is that it? Oh my god. Oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm sure that if the controller worked, we'd be having a good time, maybe. But it doesn't work. My controller definitely works, so I use it for every other game. You guys saw that it was connected. We'll just play it. We'll just try it again. And I'll try and figure out what buttons it is. Right. So I know spacebar does damage. Yep. Okay. No. Oh my god. I'm just trying all the buttons. It's pretty exciting, man. Yeah, I don't... Okay. Well, without the controller functioning, I don't think the game is playable. So, let's go look at the description instead. Alright, the Skylia Prophecy. Magic and monsters, dungeons, and atmosphere await you in a story-driven action RPG set in a medieval fantasy world. Cool. Love it. But not super thrilled with how the game just performed, because that was not fun. I don't like having to, you know, not play, I guess. I couldn't jump. I couldn't, like, the keyboard controls are not mapped. There were, like, I pressed my entire keyboard. The only thing I could do was that shield thing. I couldn't do any stabbing. I couldn't do any jumping. I couldn't really, sorry, I could do jumping, but it was on C, which seems really odd. And I'm watching the trailer here, and it doesn't look like the combat is amazingly engaging. I'm not seeing a lot more than just stab, stab, shield. Which is fine, I guess. It's definitely fine. So let's have a look down here. Marenia is an 18-year-old girl in a quest for redemption. Blah, 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 blah. We already got all that exposition. Great. It's a side-scrolling action RPG set in medieval fantasy world. Will challenge you on every turn with its hard but fair difficulty, powerful bosses, and exploration-based riddles. Upgrade Marenia over a dozen different locations, beautiful pixel art, story-driven exploration, tough as nails difficulty, atmospheric music, challenging and complex boss battles. Right. I'm sure that all of that is there. I'm just looking at the trailer, though, I would say that the combat's probably not that deep. Not that I could actually do any of it because the controller doesn't work. I see, like, this would be fine, but I really don't like... I don't like the screen I was playing in. I play on a 4K monitor, and it was trying to make it full screen, and I still ended up in a little black box instead of, like, an actual full screen. And it was, like, really pixelated, and it, like, looked blurry, and it was hard to look at, and just... Yeah, the scaling wasn't there, and I mean, maybe that's my fault for trying to play a game on a 4K monitor, but, like, the reality is lots of people play on 4K monitors. That's a thing that people do. Most people have that. Well, lots of people have that. Sorry, I'm not trying to say that everyone has a 4K monitor. But what I am saying is that it is more common than it used to be, and releasing a game these days that isn't scalable to 4K when it looks like this seems dumb. And then if it's not scalable to 4K, not having like a way to edit the, you know, the resolution and still have it be full screen, I don't know, man. Like, there's lots of quality of life improvements that need to be made here. The fact that the controller doesn't work is just kind of bad, man, because this game's bread and butter needs to be the gameplay. Yeah, because the story is not doing it any favors. The story is just... it is just... Whoops. It is just word salad. You know, like the whole exposition thing was just, oh my god. Just paragraph. I mean, I feel like whoever was writing it was thinking that they were writing their own Lord of the Rings, but like, it's just not, it's not good enough. You know what I mean? It's not fun. I'm not here to read a book. I'm here to play a game. I'm here to have some visual stimulus, and yeah, I don't know. Showing, not telling is much better. Showing, not telling. And all we got there was telling, and then the showing part of it didn't work. So let's look at Ezekiel Rage as developer. So they've got the Skylia Prophecy. Let's look at them by release date. That's always the best way to do this. So, where are we? Where did the Skylia Prophecy go? I feel like it... Why did it disappear? It's not on the list now. Anyways, so they released a game in August, which is another side-scrolling platformer. They released a different side-scrolling platformer in May. This is a soundtrack. Another platformer. So it seems like whoever this is making lots of games like this. Right. So why did Skylia Prophecy disappear? So November we had one in August, got one in November. So the games are sort of just being churned out. So that's probably why the game is lacking in a lot of areas. Let's look at the developer. Developer is Plug-in Digital, so they published Paper Beast, which was pretty okay. That was pretty fun. I kind of liked that one. Steriden. Oh, Steriden is amazing. If you haven't played Steriden, I've talked about it on this channel before. Steriden is a fantastic game, and I love it. And I've definitely dumped dozens and dozens and dozens of hours playing Steriden. It is very good. Highly recommended. What else from this publisher do we have? Man, there's a lot of negative reviews on here. World Rally Championship. Yeah, I definitely have some of that, but there's a lot of... I guess they're a prolific publisher, including this game, which is... given the developers of our other offerings, I would say this is doomed for the one user review that I'm going to put on here, and maybe one other, and that's it. So... that's it. That's the Skylia Prophecy. I can't imagine it going too much further than what you've seen here. And if you want to check it out, you can click on the link in the description. Otherwise, leave me a comment, like and subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Class dismissed.